Till after Mr. Rogers' car was stolen, the story was picked up by every newspaper, radio and media outlet around town. Within 48 hours the car was left in the exact spot where it was taken from, with an apology on the dashboard. It read, "If we'd known it was yours, we never would have taken it." I read a meme on Facebook that there was a blind girl who used to watch the show every day, and when she found out he had pet fish, she became concerned he wasn't feeding them because she couldn't see it. And she wrote him a letter. After receiving it, he made sure to say the words "I'm feeding the fish" out loud each time so she knew he was feeding the fish. We did not deserve that man. I remember my dad, who ran a homeless shelter, telling me how one winter he had a car battery taken from one of his work vehicles. The local gangsters, for lack of a better word, came to inquire about what happened, and were upset to hear it. Very quickly they had a battery for him. I'm sure there is a moral to that story somewhere in there. I feel like back where it was supposed to be would be the last place I'd look for it. Like if I'd lost my car in the parking lot for 24 hours, I'm not going to try the parking lot again hoping it's there, you know what I mean. It'd make more sense if someone parked it in a police parking lot and then phoned in the tip or something. Snopes is your friend. It's a great story, but it's doubtful the incident ever happened. While Fred Rogers was interviewed countless times during his life, we've yet to happen upon the case of his telling the story himself. Source: It's weird being a 31-year-old American who has never seen a single episode of the show he was in and barely knows who he is. I don't even know the name of his show. Just know he made his show and is very well loved. Yeah, of course they never would have taken it. You don't want Mr. Rogers, Marine Corps sniper, coming over to your neighborhood one dark night and introducing himself as your new neighbor with a headshot. Lot of street cred for a man that wore a sweater to work and played with puppets. Still one hell of a person who deserves all the credit he earned by making the world a little bit better of a place. It humanized the victim to them. Victim crimes usually involve the offender not having enough empathy to understand it's who they're hurting, and not what personal goal they're satisfying. True or not, this story was used in the HBO show Kidding, with Jim Carrey. Cancelled after 2 seasons, RIP. That show was awesome. In the show, Carrey plays a Mr. Rogers-like character. I love Fred Rogers, and while it seems that the man was so kind the story must be true, it is most likely false. I wish that was more a story about people respecting good deeds and less a story about the power of the media making a celebrity's stolen car so hot they gave it back. Regardless what Christians think, I, personally, believe Fred Rogers was the second coming of Jesus. All the man ever did was spread and preach kindness. He was there for us kids. Anyone without a father or support system had to appreciate the sheer power of his demeanor and the potency of his message. Hate to burst everyone's bubble, but Snopes says it is unproven whether this occurred. Every cardigan Mr. Rogers wore was hand-knitted by his mother. That man was something special. We need more of that kind of integrity. This never happened and the story existed prior to his fame. Mr. Rogers was probably okay with it being stolen. He probably said whoever took it obviously needed it more than him. Mr. Rogers once fell off a cruise ship into the ocean, but he was carried safely to shore by a family of sharks. If you ever are tempted to do something bad, just pretend the victim is and don't do the thing. This sounds like a load of horseshit. No criminal willing to steal a car gives a shit about Mr. Rogers, lol. You see, Mr. Rogers is friends with the Cookie Monster and no one messes at Blue Monster are his friends. They sort of miss the point that it's just as wrong to take a car from Mr. Rogers as anyone else. Mr. Rogers from Epic Rap Battles is the hardest Mr. Rogers ever. That was over 30 years ago. Today's tweaker thieves would steal from their own grandmothers. If we'd known it was yours, we never would have taken it. What kind of rationale is that? Other people deserve to get fucked over, but not this guy who makes kids television. It's a good idea to just assume that every car you want to steal belongs to Mr. Rogers. Alright, it's official. Mr. Rogers is an honorary 62 East Coast neighborhood crip, wheelchair symbol. They knew Mr. Rogers could be a stone-cold killer when he needed to be. Apocryphal stories keep most of humanity from eliminating themselves. This is a false story that has been circulating for many years. Don't mess with G0D's truly chosen people, those who walk the talk. And imagining the situation was a bit like killing John Wick's dog. He would have hated getting another sweater stained with blood.